Hello, Plannerets. How are you? It is day 23 of a 30-day challenge that I gave myself to be mindful, messy in March, where I show up here on YouTube, whether live, just like this, or recorded podcast or video. I hope you have been enjoying my little challenge and have come along the journey, and you too hopefully have been showing up for yourself regardless whether it's perfect or not, whether you're ready, you're scared, things aren't going right yet. Just do it, because along the way there are opportunities to learn as you go, and maybe something that you thought was scary wasn't scary after all. So, how are you today? Saying hello to Elle. How are you? Let me grab my chat. Hi, everyone. Hi, Marianne. Hello, Elle. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have been having a wonderful weekend and have been taking some self care, me time off. I did yesterday, so I quickly popped by about half an hour before midnight last night to do my day 22, where I showed some of the things I purchased during my macro break, which is taking half to a full day off once a month to just do something for yourself, and it'll help you reset and re-energize. Now, let me know before we get started. I want to know, and I want you to write it down if you are here in the chat and of course if you are watching on replay. What is a win you've had for this week? Remember, a win doesn't have to be a grand one. It can be a small, teeny, tiny one. If you were, scared of something and you took action anyway, that is a win. If you made progress with your habits, that's a win. So while you're typing up your own win, because this is really important, if we don't acknowledge the wins we've had, all we'll see is all the negative things, the things that aren't going right. So we have to train our brain to know that, hey, this is a win. And then what will it do? It will start to see all the wins and all the things you're grateful for and the positive things. So if it's hard for you at the moment to even think of a win, all it means is you haven't had practice, you haven't built the habit yet. So that is why I want you to start to think of every day, what is a win? So far for me, now, I don't know if you saw, I was one of my free stationary free play live stream. I created these cute little tiny origami stars. So there we go. And then, so what I did is for each time I got myself outside, it doesn't have to be part of my workout, but just getting myself outside and getting some fresh air, I folded a origami star. Every time I did a strength training, I folded another different colored origami star. And then every time I went on my walking pad for about 20 to 30 minutes, I folded an origami star. So all of this so far is from the 19th, only from the 19th of March. So 19, 20, 21, 22. So in 4 days, that's how much movement I have done in the last 4 days. So that is my win. So let me see. Elle says drinking more water this week. And thank you, Elle. Good reminder. I'm just going to take a little drink of my water bottle, so I am glad. So if you are tuning in, we are going to be doing a brain dump in real time. So I'm going to put a timer on the screen. I'll do it. So I want you to grab a pen, paper. You can make it colorful, you can make it just very simple. Grab a piece of copy paper. But I do have a free brain dump printable download that you can grab for free, either if you sign up, went to my weekly email newsletter, or join my Plannerets community. I'll put the details are in the description. So if you are ready, and if you're still thinking of a win, make sure to write it down in the chat. So let's go. So what I'm going to do today is really get into it. This is, I think, my fourth brain dump, weekly brain dump, since I started doing the 30-day Mindful Messy March challenge. So I have a playlist. I'll make sure to pop that in the description. I put in the description right now a highlighted version of one of those that explains what is brain dumping, why it's important, and the things we can do to help declutter our mind to help set us for, get ready for a new week. So if you're feeling the Sunday scary at the moment and getting anxious every time Monday's about to tick over, brain dumping is an essential part of your planning system. So make it a regular habit. So whether you do it on a Saturday afternoon, or me in Sydney, Australia, now it's 1 p.m. on a Sunday, so I'm getting ready to start my new week. Or if you feel like your brain is all cluttered and overwhelmed, do it as you go as well. So don't just leave it until the end of the week. Use it as a tool. If something is broken, we will get something to fix it, right? So a brain dump is one of those tools that will help you with your to declutter. Okay, so let me quickly go to my desk. So this is the free brain dump printable that you can grab, like I said, either to when you sign up to my free email weekly newsletter, or when you're part of the free Plannerettes community. All it is just really, it's a with a heading and grid lines to help you write down your thoughts. Now, when you're writing things down in your head, down on paper, when you're brain dumping, as the name suggests, you're just going to dump. There is no filter, there is no judgment. Write everything down that you can think of. Things to do, your dreams, your worries, planning a holiday, doing something about the kitchen, everything that's in your mind, put it down on paper, because it'll help you see it a lot clearer, because you're giving it that little bit of space rather than having it swirl in your head. Okay, so make sure that whatever you've got now, if you haven't downloaded this, that's fine. I've got the link, I've got all the details in the description, but I'm going to put a 10-minute timer on. Cindy, hello, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. Marielle, nice to see you. Thank you so much. Just in time to do our 10-minute brain dump. So are you ready? Because I am ready. I've got my pen. Now I'm going to be writing in this Pilot Friction Way erasable pen in, I think it's called cheek pink. So you won't see it because, of course, these are my thoughts, and there's some thoughts that might be, that I want to keep to myself. But if you're going, what, Marianne, I can't see what your thoughts are. No, you have to concentrate on your own brain dumping, okay? So let us get ready. If you are ready, grab your pen, got the paper, say yes, thumbs up, give me a thumbs up button. And if you're ready, let us put the 10-minute timer on. Again, whatever pops in your head. No filtering, no judgment. Don't not write it down thinking, oh, I don't think I want this down on paper. Because if you keep it in your head, it's going to be stuck in there, and it's going to, snowball, especially if it's anxious thoughts. All right, so let's go. There we go. 10 minutes always goes so quickly. It either goes so quickly or doesn't go quickly enough. Now, if you are doing this 10-minute brain dumping yourself a little bit later on, try and utilize the whole 10 minutes. Now, if you've written everything down way before the 10-minute timer goes off, just sit there. This is your time. Honor it. It's a non-negotiable. It is just a great time for you to just sit and just take, especially if you haven't taken breaks yourself, or you feel guilty for taking breaks. Give yourself the permission to say, I am important enough to just be able to sit here and gather my thoughts. Okay? Make sure you do that. Hello, Brenda. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you being here. And Ronnie Cat, hello, hello. How are you? Ronnie Cat's been really good popping in the Plannerets community, letting us know things that she is doing, new things she's doing. So I appreciate you being there and making sure that you're also sharing the things that's happening with you guys, because it's really nice sometimes to just share the things we're doing, because then helps encourage us. It makes us accountable for ourselves. Not that anyone will be going, hey, you didn't do that. Really great opportunity. So thank you so much for joining today. Now, you've written your brain dump? Yes? Thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button if that was nice. Is it starting to feel a little bit more lighter? Your head isn't as cluttered. Your brain isn't about to explode with all the things you need to do for the new week or even just for today? If yes, then that is a great start. Okay. Now, if you wanted to leave it at that for the moment and just move away from it, especially if you've written down some deep stuff, maybe some worries or things that may have surfaced some emotions, leave it for a little bit and come back to it. Okay. But what we're going to do with this is, remember, the brain dumping exercise itself is the no filter, no judgment, doesn't have to be in any chronological order, doesn't have to be all the big tasks or the little tasks. It's just dumping. Okay, you're just dumping. Hello, Create Scrapbooks. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you? I appreciate you being here. All right, but it's important that once we've dumped our things in our head, is we're now going to categorize it to help us prioritize things that matter most to us, and maybe move things that may not be important or urgent right now, but we're going to park it somewhere so we don't forget it, because that's sometimes the thing that takes a lot of space in our brain, is trying to remember things. So then, I've got to remember that it's important. Don't keep it in there. Write it down. And by writing it down will help us sort it out. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to guide you through how I categorize everything in my head. Okay, like you can do your categorization in whatever way makes sense to you. So you might categorize work stuff, family stuff, or kids stuff, or personal, or a project. So whatever category works best for you is the one. I'm just trying to see who's making the noise. They're back from my husband and son are back from their walk. Okay, so the first thing I need for you to do is have a look at your list. Grab a marker or a highlighter that will make sense to you, and this, we're going to go and highlight or circle things that, let me have a look. Where's the pen? Things that, here we go. Things that to do today or tomorrow. Okay, so have a look at your list. I'm going to put a 1-minute timer on the screen. So have a look, read through. Is this something I have to do today, or I have to do tomorrow? Okay, so again, whatever marker or highlighter makes sense to you, we're now going to start making sense of what's been in our head and taking up space in our mind. All right, so minute timer. And I have this thing on the screen of what you need. Wow, that minute went quick. So if you still haven't read through all of it, do that on your own time. I'm just really mindful of the time. Okay, so go through what do you need to do today. So it's like non-negotiable, like it's a time-sensitive task or to do, or what do you need to do tomorrow? Color it in a color that will make sense to you. All right. So once you've done that and gone through your list, the next category that I like to do is things to do within the week. So in the next 7 days, what sort of things that needs to be done within the week? So I can't, it's not really for today or tomorrow, but has to be done by the end of the week. So within, so for me, I'm going to use blue within the week. Okay. So do that, and I'll pop on the 1 minute timer right now. Okay, so have you done that? Let me know if you were able to the first two things to categorize. You've circled the things that you need to do today or tomorrow. Okay, now if you're like me and actually have a lot of things to do today, hang around because then I'll let you know what I would do, because then that could be quite overwhelming because I'm thinking, well, there's a lot for me to do today and it's already, past the afternoon. And so I know that may cause me some overwhelm or some anxiety. So then I'm going to break it down again. If there's a certain category, especially the ones for today or tomorrow, there's quite a lot on there. You can go back and have a look. And this is when you start to then be able to go prioritize. Right? I know I don't have enough time in the day to do everything that I have circled for today or tomorrow. So what do I need to do? Is that something I can move to the end of the week? Okay, so this is when, because at the moment, all of this was in our head. So all of this for us would have been important or urgent, or we need to do it. And then that's where that overwhelm and the anxiety comes in, and we feel like, oh, well, I can't now take time off for myself because it's going to put me behind, and then everything else. You spiral. Okay, so this is a really good way to go, all right, well, it seems like I haven't categorized it further down. So don't worry about it yet if all of the things that you circled is for today or tomorrow. We'll come back and I'll let you know what we can do to then reduce that overwhelm. So let me know. Have you got it so far? Does it look all right? You don't have a lot of things for today or tomorrow? Let me know in the chat, or if you are watching on replay. So the next category that I'm going to do is things to do within the month. Okay, well, now the month is only a week away. So this will be in the next 30 days for me. So within the month. So I'm going to use purple within the month. Okay, so create scrapbooks. Create scrapbooks. Remind me again, please, if you'll find your name. You're not Amy, though, are you? No, I don't think you're Amy. No, let me know. Hi, Susan. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. My brain is letting me down today. It's great. Are you Amy? Or did you do a new? Icon? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, so the purple one is for things to do within the month. Okay, so for the month, for maybe it will be for the next 30 days. So if I know there are things that Terry, that's it. Excellent. Terry, love the color coding. Works for me too. Excellent. I love it. Thank you, Terry. Nice to see you. I think this is the first time you have been on the live chat. Is that correct? If so, well, welcome. Welcome to the Planerex community. I appreciate you being here so much. I love it. I love it. Okay. So, what was I saying? Purple within the month because there's only 7 days, 8 days left within the month. So within the next 30 days. So when you're circling it, have a think, okay, maybe some of this is the beginning of the first 2 weeks of April. Okay. So again, don't try and fit too many things or like narrow down your time frame. This is your brain dump. This is your timetable. It's not for, what everybody else is doing. It's what works best for you. All right, let's go. 10 minutes. Excellent. All right. So I have a few things that I are important but not urgent that can be done within the next 30 days. So my color coding is purple. So the next one, if you still have lots of things on there and you don't know how to categorize it, so it's in your head, so it's taking up space. So it's something that you've been thinking about, but nothing to do. Don't need to do today, tomorrow, within the week, or within the month, but something maybe you'd like to visit later on. So I'm just going to choose yellow as my color coding, and this will be for future stuff. So things that aren't within the next 30 days or within the month, but somewhere along the lines, you don't forget it. It's taking up space in your head. Color it or highlight it, and this is where you can use. I have as part of the get things done printable download where I have my list of stuff to capture things that I want to do or need to do but don't know yet when or what the outcome would look like. This is where I park it. All right, so I've got things that I would like to do, but it's not important yet. So if it pops in my head, when I'm not brain dumping, then I will go, oh, I don't want to forget about that. It's not something I need to do for today, so I'm not putting in my planner or my weekly or my calendar. I will put it in the list of stuff. Or if it is something that is date specific, if you have a dated planner, then you can use, of course, just pop that in whatever, in September, okay? Or you can use what I have here, which is a future log. So really, if something happened that I need to remember for September, instead of taking space in my head, I'm going, oh, I've got to remember that. Where do I need to write that down? I have a future log that I write things down, especially maybe if I do a trial of an app or a subscription, and then they give you a 1 month free trial or a 3 month free trial. I put it in my future log because I don't plan or I don't use dated planners. So my future log helps me take it out of my head, down on paper, so then when I'm planning for September, it's there. It hasn't, I haven't been trying to use my brain to remember things when, my brain already is having difficult time trying to remember stuff. All right. So I'm going to put on the screen 1 minute timer. Have a look if there's anything on there, or if you've thought of some more things as we're going along. But it's not for today, not for tomorrow, not for within the week or the month, but for future. Okay, I've just popped the date on the bottom of my page so I remember what that's for. Just like these, I think that was my first one. This one here, the 16th and the 2nd of March. Okay, so see how my brain dump is all over the place? That's okay. It doesn't have to be neat, it doesn't have to be in a chronological order. Just a space for you to write things down. You might have a dedicated notebook or planner for your brain dumping, and that's fantastic. But then if you don't, just a plain piece of paper, or this one, which is a free printable download. Check the details in the description. So now, if you did write anything down that may be some, limiting beliefs or self-doubt, or, you're being harsh on yourself, have a look at what you wrote down, and I want you to challenge it. So it's important. So because I've throughout the 30-day Mindful Messy March challenge, I've actually been journaling a lot of the things that's been in my head that's been worrying me. I have been using a separate brain dump page for how I'm feeling, reframing my thoughts, and steps I need to take to ensure that I'm not stuck within my emotions, and creating a plan. So that's why you don't see anything of that. It's not that I don't have any worries or any negative feelings, that's in my head. It's just I have taken the time throughout the last 23 days, because I have been anxious for a lot of times. So I have used dedicated pages to note down all the things that's been worrying me in the last month or so. Okay, but if you did write anything down yourself, that things like I'm no good at my job, and these are my own thoughts, just giving you some examples, that I'm not a good mom, that I'm not contributing enough. Challenge it. Am I really a bad person? Am I really not good at my job? If you are, I want you to get a red pen, or in my case, I'm using the zebra mild liner, a pink one, and just cross it. Do not let that take space in your head, because things like that, yes, they do pop up. But what we need to do is we need to have a look. Okay, if those are things that are popping up in my head, what are the steps I need to take to ensure that I'm challenging it, that I'm creating positive affirmations, that I'm reframing my thoughts, and things like, I'm not good at something yet, right? Or because I'm not good at something because I'm a beginner, or I'm just learning. So reframing those thoughts. But if it's in there, cross it off if it's not true. I don't want it taking space in your brain, because whatever you're doing right now, you're doing the best you can, and that is enough. Okay, well, then we'll can figure out later on what else we need to do to ensure that any limiting beliefs or self-doubt pop up. Okay, so do that for me if you did have any negative feelings pop up in today's brain dumping session. How are we feeling so far? Are we feeling a little bit lighter? So if you did start the brain dumping and then felt like you had a heavy load, let me know if this is making things a little bit lighter, because now what we're going to do is we're going to put an action plan, right? Because that's what our planner is there for, to help us, not just to our to-do list. Because I think that's what happens for a lot of us, is our to-do list is just so inundated with all the tasks and to-dos, and we feel like we don't get to do it, and then we move it to the next day, and move it to the next day, move it to the next week, and then we start all over again feeling all overwhelmed. Brain dump will just help us sort it out. Once we've sorted it out and categorize it, we're now going to put it in our planner to create small, actionable, manageable steps to ensure that we are making progress. That's all we got to do each day, is make progress. Doesn't mean that, if you've got a thing to do today, that you've got to complete it all today, or that you have to do it all yourself, or that you have to do it now. Because in the scheme of things, if you have a lot of things to do today and you go, well, I can't do that, and that's where the overwhelm, you then go, how important is that to me right now? Might be important, but how important is it right now? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So grab your piece of paper. Let me know if you're still following along and still feeling good. So what we need to do, so the greens, or whatever color you have for the today and tomorrow, is grab your planner. And let's put some stuff in today's daily planner or your weekly planner and then write it down. Okay, so let's see for me. We still have to finish reading the OT report for our son's assessment because it's like it's tons and tons of pages. It's quite draining for my husband and I because of course it has something to do with our son, and so we feel spent afterwards. It's like, because it sort of highlights the things that the challenge and things that, our son's going through and what he needs help with. So for those of you new to my channel, I have a 16-year-old. My younger son is on the autism spectrum. So we had, an assessment done. So we need to finish that because once we finish that, we've got to give that report to our his general practitioner, and then put a plan in place to get a pediatrician that is learned in managing or seeing children who's on the autism spectrum. Okay, so I'm going to put here, it's a priority because we really need to get that done. Finish reading the OT report. So plan along with me, have a look at the things you've circled for today and for tomorrow, and then make sure that you put it, if you have a daily planner, put it in there. If you plan on a weekly basis, put it in your Saturday or your Sunday column or row, okay, and pop that in there. So I'm going to put that. I'm going to put my little dotted or square marker. And once you've written it down in a planner, guess what you can do? Now cross it off. All right. So because you're going to take action, right? Doesn't mean that you've done it now, but what you're doing is now you're I call it the funneling down. So if you can think of a big funnel, here at the top is before you brain dumped all that thought swirling in your head, and then we dumped it on paper, and then we categorized it, and now we're into this nearly the small part of the funnel. No, not right at the end yet. We're just now writing it down. So it's like if you can think of, at school, right? You've got the line of kids, okay? All the year five line up here, okay? Year five or elementary, fifth grade, or right? All the year six line here. That's what you're doing. Because remember, imagine the school playground. So I love analogies, right? Imagine the school playground, and lunch just broke up, and they're all the kids are mixed in the playground, and now you want them to line up in their grades or with for their class, for their teachers. That's all you're doing, is you're taking that big mess that was in your head and all that clutter, and you're just funneling them down into their own category. All right, so go through all for today. All right, so because we've grouped today and tomorrow, just go, okay, let's see. So another one that I have to do today is plan for my live stream tomorrow. So plan for Monday live. Okay, so because I've written it down in my planner, I can now cross that off. Okay, so we're just funneling down. Let's have a look. Okay, now for tomorrow, which will be my Monday, so I'm going to start a new week because I haven't embellished yet, and I don't know what theme I'm doing. I'm just going to use an erasable pen and just have a look. Okay, here we go. I need to plan on Monday, plan out the topics for the rest of my 30-day challenge, for the rest of my 30-day challenge on YouTube. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. So just so you can see an example of me writing things down that was part of my today and my tomorrow. So again, you can just grab a plan with this one. Okay, there we go. Look what I'm doing. I'm now putting up an action plan. And that's all this is getting things in your head and making sense of it, categorizing it, and actually doing an action plan. And make sure whatever you're putting on your today, today, tomorrow, your week, if that it is simple, actionable task. If it's not, guess what you do? You just break it down even more, right? So then that way it's not overwhelming. Let me know if this is making sense. Are you starting to plan along with me? So even doing, just for today and tomorrow, already you're getting to see that, oh, okay, well, plan out the topics for the rest of my, maybe I don't need to do that on a Monday. Maybe I can do that on a Tuesday because, so then if I, if I was actioning it, because I know too on Monday I'm going to be busy with my live stream, and then I'm going to have to catch up because I go on 5 o'clock here in the morning for me. So maybe doing that one is going to be too much for me on a Monday. See how then I can now start to prioritize things. So plan topic for rest of 30-day challenge. Okay, so if you're planning and you're not really sure yet and you're still prioritizing, highly recommend an erasable pen. So this one I purchased, Pilot Friction. I think can you see it's way? I think that's how you say it. And so I have it in pink and I have it also in this sand beige. So then it's a nice light color. And so then that way even though it is erasable with friction, because technically what happens is you're not erasing the ink, you're just changing the color to make it fade, because when you do put this again in cold, like in the fridge, the ink will reappear. So you're not actually erasing it, you're just making the ink change color so then it becomes invisible. So then I like to use a lighter color when I'm planning. All right, how are we going? Are we good? Next, what you do is for the things that's within the week, okay, plan within the week, guess what? Put it in your weekly planner. Where's my weekly planner? Yeah. Here we go. So I plan on a daily basis because I know I get so overwhelmed that looking at everything for the weekly, like seeing already what I need to do for the week, can be overwhelming. So I break it down on a day-to-day basis. That's just how my brain works. Remember, if you watch why your planner may be failing you, is because it may not be suited to the way your brain works. Okay, so you might have everything on one page like a weekly planner, but then if that's overwhelming you, and then just you get too anxious about it and then you procrastinate, maybe you're a daily planner. Or maybe if a daily planning is too granular for you, it's like, I can figure out what to do on a weekly. So make sure you figure out a planning system that works for the way your brain works as well as your lifestyle right now. Because if you're busy, maybe just a bird's eye view is not, it's not specific enough or not small actionable steps enough. Okay, so what do I have for blue? Okay, I need to go and return something I purchased that I don't need anymore. So when do I want to do that? Maybe on a Monday, because I need to get myself outside. So return cases to Kmart. Okay, so then guess what? Because I've noted it down for things I need to do for the week, I can now cross that off. Even like the act of crossing things off is making my mind a lot clearer and not so heavy. All right, what else? I need to go and what I'm looking at. I need to go and print some of my. So it's not going to be day specific. So I'm just going to put it on my weekly here. Need to print some more of some stickers that I've run out of. So print, Kina prints stickers, because I use some stickers for my mood logging. Okay, so then I can cross that off. Oh no, that one's for purple. That was for the month. Okay, so that one was actually for the month. So I don't need to do it for the week. So let me just erase that. I can do it for the week, but I've got a lot of stuff already for the week. So I said that was going to be for the month. So guess what? I'm going to put that in my April. All right, so do I have April stuff ready? Why, yes, I already have April stuff ready. So I'm going to go and put it, because I haven't set up my April, put it in your April planner. So print, oops, can't spell print, Kina prints stickers. How are you going? Are you planning along or just you listening in? Are you getting aha moments? Is this something you've done before? Is this how you plan, or is this a new way that you'll plan if you are feeling always, that your to-do list is just getting out of hand? So I've already crossed that off. Now I need to go and put clothes away because I've got so many clothes. So I need to do that within the week. So let me quickly have a look at my weekly. That's when I'll put it here. Put the clothes away. I've still got put clothes away. It's not day specific, so I've just popped it on my weekly planner on the side there. And so that's for the moment temporary because I don't know how I'm going to set it up. So then that's that one. Now, if you did have anything that is for the future, so if you have a place where you can park these things. So I have my list of stuff. So again, this is based on David Allen's How to Get Things Done, capturing thoughts from your head and down on paper. So for him, according to his methodology, is stuff that you need to do that you don't know yet what to do with, or you don't know what the outcome or the result looks like, but it's taking space in your head. Now, those are things that sort of like within the next, not this month, but maybe in the next couple of months. But if there is something that it's a dream that you don't know if it's something you'll do in the next few months, I also have, it's exactly the same, but it's a someday maybe. For me, things like playing, I would love to go on a holiday soon. And so that's somewhere in the far distant future, someday maybe. So just make sure you have a trusted system that you can refer back to on a regular basis. So then that way you don't have to worry about trying to keep it in your head and trying to remember. So whether you're a paper planner, a digital planner, but something that you will revisit. So then if you you need to write things down in a post-it note, or you've got stuff, you've written things on your phone, put it somewhere that you will go once a month or every 3 months, you go and review. So then you could go, okay, well, let's have a look at some of my someday maybe list. Well, maybe now is an great time for us to plan for a holiday. So those things, guess what? You start to move in your current planner. Okay, so let me know how it's going. Got the gears going. Oh, I love that, Ronnie Cat. That's great. And that's all you need to do sometimes is just get, how sometimes, because I know I get stuck in a position where I do things over and over and over again, and then expecting a different result. And then you go, why aren't things working? And then it's just someone says something, or you see an inspiration, you go, oh, why didn't I think of that? The reason why you haven't thought of that is because our brain normally is cluttered, or we haven't had a rest, or we're hungry, or our energy level is just so low. And that is why it's so important to have our breaks and our self-care. I've learned this along the way, and I'm still learning. So when I'm like, on the couch and I'm crying and I'm going, I'm no good. It's just everything's not working out the way I want. And, if my husband's around, and he'll normally go, have you got yourself outside? I don't want to go outside. I just want to stay under the blanket. And they'll be like, I'll sit there for a while and go, okay, I don't want to go outside, but maybe I'll do some arts and craft, or do something that I enjoy. That's sort of like I call it now a mindset cleanser. You know how when you smell perfumes at the perfume store, or and then they give you coffee beans, and you smell the coffee beans, and it helps you break the palate, or or even like when you're eating, they call it palate cleansers, so then it's nice and neutral, so then when you smell another fragrant or you taste another food, that it's nice and clean. You don't have the aftertaste of, the garlic prawns that you've just eaten, right? So this, your self-care and taking care of yourself is your mindset cleanser. Because if you keep doing same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that's a sign of insanity. So we got to break the circuit and try something new. What we might try may not work, but at least we tried something new. Or it'll just go, okay, let me try that again and see if I can, pivot or tweak things up a little bit. So I love that that you got the gears are going. Melinda, hello, nice to see you. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Okay, so afternoon, everyone listening. Did my brain dump this morning? Fantastic. I love it. I love it. So, yes, just making sure the brain dump is part of your planning ecosystem. Susan says, I have a 4-month-old puppy. I am up and down getting shoes, cords, socks out of his mouth. He is so cute, but wow, he is exhausting. I can only listen tonight. No, that's good. And this is actually even just the listening portion is just your own little self-care, because if you have taken the time to go, you know what, I need to listen to this, I can't do it yet, you are telling your brain that, it's important to you, that what else, finding ways of making sure that you are looking after yourself. I love it. Stephanie, Planet's a symbol. Hope you are all well. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so then what did we do within the month? Okay, so I had my April. I put some stuff in my April, so I'll go through all the things that I have highlighted within the month and put it in my April. So if you have a dated planner, you can put that. Anything for the future, I'll either put in my list of stuff. So all these printable is available in my shop, so I'll make sure to add it in the description, or if it's not within the next few months, in a someday maybe list. Melinda says, I'm finding that if I do a brain dump, I am coping better. Love that. Love that, exactly. And it's just all it is just like the name suggests, it's just you're getting everything out of your head. It's like, how sometimes for you to clean a room, or for you to clean a shelf or a drawer or a cupboard in your kitchen, you got to get things out first, right? It's the same way with our brain. We can't sort through everything if it's cluttered. So all we're doing is everything in our brain. Let me see. Can I do let me grab a piece of paper. Okay. Let me see if Marianne can draw a brain. I don't know if I can draw a brain. All right, so there's our brain. Okay, there's our brain. Okay, so it's all cluttered. Blah, 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 blah. All these noise, all these thoughts, blah, 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 blah. You gotta take the dog to the vet. You gotta go clean the kitchen. You gotta go and apply for a job, and and then you're not good. You're not doing enough. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's our brain. That is our brain at the moment before a declutter. It's all the noise, right? All the noise. And so all we're doing is we're getting it out of our head, because what happens is if it's in our head, all it does is bounce back and forth, right? Or it gathers momentum and becomes a big snowball, right? So this tiny little worry that you had now starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger. But when you get it down on paper, right, you're listing it out, all of this down on paper. Let me see. Here's a paper, right? Getting it down on paper, right? You are now, what happens is, it's on there, writing it down, and this is you. This is you. Okay, that's you. Right? You've given yourself space. And you can, if you're a visual person, you can now see it a lot clearer. So you've given yourself space because you've written it down, and then you go, oh, Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff in my head. Okay, now let's categorize it, right? So that's all you're doing. All you're doing from this clutter is giving yourself small, actionable steps, right? So if you're over here, did I have that? Do I have that to my little right, for my little drawing? You're over here where you feel stuck and you want to be there, and you think before a brain dump, it's like it's too far. I can't jump from here to there. So all you're doing when you're brain dumping is taking small, actionable steps, tiny little steps. Sometimes you might go, oh, that's too hard. I can't move any forward. Stay there for a little bit. Do some fun painting or crocheting like I have. Take your time and then take the small, actionable step. That's all you're doing with your brain dump. All the noise, write it down. Gives you a little bit of space, right? You get to see it clearly because it's in front of you. You know, what do they say? What's that thing? Is you can't see the label. Let's say there's a label on here. Okay, there's a label. I'll put label. Hopefully, yep. Okay. Let me pop me on the screen. All right. So there's the label of a jar. If you're inside the jar, if you're in here, so if you're stuck in your own head, you can't see the label from inside the jar. So what you need to do is you need to write it down so then you can see the label. Oh, it says label, right? So just imagine you're in here, all stuck in your head. Okay, by writing it down on paper, you get out of your head and you get to see the label. That's all brain dumping is. You can't read the label from inside the jar. So get it out onto paper. Let me have a look. Let's show you my little drawing. Hey, where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? Okay. Noise, write it down, give you space, see it a lot clearer. Isn't that fun? See, I get to doodle again today. Let's have a look. Prawns are like shrimp in the US, but larger. Yes, prawns. So for us, shrimp are the little tiny one, and prawns are the bigger one. So but yeah, so love garlic prawns, and in tapas, in sizzling garlic in a Spanish restaurant, tapas, love it. And then you dip the bread into the garlic or garlic oil. Yum! I'm getting hungry. All right, so Melinda says, now that I'm just writing down without my filter, I'm finding that I'm getting through the clutter and I'm really looking at what I need to do and what can wait. And that's all it is. You now get to start to prioritize, because before, everything seems important, everything is urgent. It's just we haven't been able to see it clearly and be able to go, you know what? I don't need to do that today. It can wait until tomorrow. Or you know what? I don't need to do that myself. I can delegate that to one of the kids. Or you know what? I'm very busy this week. I'm going to ask my boss, is there any way we can extend the deadline? We can ask for help. And sometimes we think that because it's on our list, that we are the ones that need to complete it. No, I've learned that we can delegate, we can ask for extension, we can ask for help. I know some of you have done that in your own life, and it has helped, because we think that if we ask for help that we are failing. No, asking for help is actually a confident thing, because we know our limits, we know our boundaries, we know exactly what's important to us, and we know how to prioritize. So if you can think asking for help is actually a strength, not a weakness, because we know our capability. Our capability doesn't mean that we're not capable of everything. It's just we know that this is the best I can do with the energy I have and the time I have. When I know I have more energy and more time, I can do a lot of things. But at the moment, right? Because we know life happens. Things turn up, things show up that we didn't plan or account for. So asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. A great example drawn out. Yes, love my colorful markers. Also, setting a timer has helped. Thanks, Mary. Yes. And then that's good too. So sometimes if you have, do you know what I'm finding? So I've done this with you guys now 4 weeks in a row, right? Where's my brain dump? Here it is. My brain dump. My brain dump. Okay. So I think I started off here. The categories was too wide, and then I started breaking it down. And look, right? It's a lot easier. There's not a lot of clutter. I'm not saying there's no overwhelm or no anxiety, but I know now because once a week or when I need to, I have the opportunity to clear my head and write it down on paper and see it clearer. If you're in a position right now where you can't move, you can't do anything, give yourself the time to just sit with it, right? If you had I always say this, if you had twisted your ankle, what do? You put your feet up, you don't walk on it. But then, if your mind is broken, or your mind is strained, or your heart is not feeling well, or because you can't see it, you try and work through it. I keep going. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm overwhelmed. I'm anxious. But what do? But what do you and I do? I know I do this. I keep working because if I just stop, I'm going to fall behind. That people are going to think I'm a failure. People are going to think I'm no good. But if our wrist is strained, what do? We bandage it and then we don't use it for a while. Or if our back is hurting, we go see someone for help. But somehow when mentally and emotionally and maybe spiritually, when we're a little bit broken or we're a little bit vulnerable or we're a little bit delicate, we try and work through it. Why? Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So and the things to help, of course, these are the things you do on a regular basis, and then make sure if you are already burnt out, you take, but the things to prevent it. So, apprehension instead of prevention. So I learned that with our son, instead of waiting until he has the big meltdown, let's do regular activities to ensure that we're looking after his sensory and emotional regulation. So don't wait until it's too late and you break down and have a meltdown. That is why self-care and well-being and taking the time, just like you and I are doing now, hanging out with like-minded friends, taking time to brain dump, embellishing our planner pages, things that make us happy, playing with stickers, playing with colorful markers, and just putting washi tapes down. These are all self-care, well-being activities to help you reset, re-energize, and take a break. Okay. Sometimes we got to eat our vegetables because it's good for us. So sometimes, when we brain dump, it might bring up things in the surface that we don't want. If that is the case, now remember my videos are always from my personal point of view, and because I talk about my own mental mental struggles and mental activities that go on in my head. The things that I share are just for educational and entertainment purposes. Go and seek help if you need it, and you can't. Any of these things that I share that help us along the way, if they're not working, ask for help. Remember, go seek a professional mental specialist or talk to your general practitioner and see. I've done that. I've gone to my doctor and gone, I'm just feeling so sad. I can't get out of bed. I don't know what to do. Because then it might be your diet, your exercise, getting sleep. For me, I'm going through perimenopause, right? So if the things you're doing now and you're trying so many different things and still not working, ask for help. Because asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. Okay? Let's quickly have a look. Now, of course, if you are liking this, make sure to hit that like button. Click, click, clickety click, please. That'll be really lovely. And if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do. All right, so I think we've gone through everything. We've brain dumped, we've categorized, we've action planned in our planner. Oh, yes, that thing I was going to share with regards to if you have a lot on your today or tomorrow, all you got to do is look at it, prioritize it, and remember just because it's for today and tomorrow doesn't mean you need to complete it today or tomorrow. All you need to do is take the first step. So if I have to, example, write a report, okay, so I'm supposed to write a report. All I got to do first of all is open, look at my the app that I use to create my presentation, and then that could just be the first thing, and I've done something already. And then tomorrow I might go, okay, write the title of the report. Just because it's on your today, tomorrow, or it's to do for the week doesn't necessarily mean you have to complete it today or tomorrow. All you got to do is take the small, first, actionable, manageable step. All right. So let me know if you have any questions and if there's anything else I may have missed. So I think I'll do for my 30-day Mindful Messy March challenge. Next Sunday will be the last brain dumping session live on here on YouTube in the public format. I don't know yet if it's something I would love to continue it. So let me know if it's something you would like to continue. Have a brain dump session with me on a weekly basis, because having people do it with you at the same time helps you keep accountable, doesn't it? And it makes me do it too. And I'm feeling lighter each and every time I do it. So, really good. Let me know. Anything else? I think that is it. So, tomorrow, okay, so for those of you that have my the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable download, I'll pop that in the chat. So this is the printable download that I'll be using. Make sure I'm on the screen. Okay, so it has a goals tracker, mid-month check-in. Now the April cover, that's a freebie, so I'll pop this in the Plannerettes community ahead of time, but I'll have it available in the weekly newsletter on Friday, ready for the new month. But normally it's just a dotted planner. It's got a calendar, habit tracker, mood and sleep tracker, well-being planner spread. So then you are putting steps just for you, habits and routines just for you, weekly planner spread, daily pages, and you have enough pages to last 5 weeks worth. So how if a month has 4 weeks or if a month has 5 weeks, there's enough. There's a gratitude log, and then there is victory log, because we have to be looking for the things we are grateful for and the wins of the day on a regular basis to ensure that's what our brain starts to spot instead of all just the negative stuff. And then end of month reflection. And this morning I've been planning on how will I do my April cover page. I did a doodle explosion. So if you want to know how I do this, make sure you tune in tomorrow to the Plan With Me session, where I'll do the April cover page as well as embellish my calendar, and then probably Tuesday fill in my habit tracker and mood and sleep tracker. So then that way it's ready for the new week. But look at that. Who would like to know how to do this? Now, a lot of these doodles are inspired by the Coffee Monster Co. Helen. So, so I followed along. This was my morning self-care session. I did this just this morning. So we can do that too tomorrow. All right. So I appreciate you, everybody. Night all, sleep calls. See you tomorrow. Elle says, I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to hit that like button. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.